Alright, so thank you for tuning in to Chompin at the Bit. This is episode 44. Now in this episode, we're going to take a look at the Thursday night football matchup tonight. Go through, give you some key points, give you the key injuries as well, key stats, all that, break it down for you, give you the prediction, as I do have to get started with my week 10. So this is going to be the kickoff. Get the first prediction out of the way. Hopefully it's another winner. And then, of course, we'll look ahead to upcoming episodes at the end. Now, I guess just a little note. I was going to do my NFL draft kickoff yesterday, but I'm sure most of you know, YouTube was down for a little bit, so I couldn't really see any highlights of the draft prospects. So pushing that till tomorrow's episode. And as I did say, I will start with, I'm still deciding whether I'll do one prospect an episode or maybe a couple. So I might do LaMelo Ball and James Wiseman on the next episode. So NBA fans, definitely tune in for that, because like I said, I will break them down as well. Strengths, weaknesses, NBA comparables, all of that. And like I said, that's going to kick off draft coverage, as we are now less than a week out from the draft. There's also some possible free agency news out there, which I'll get into as well. But yeah, so before I do get into the Thursday night football matchup, now, if any of you are golf fans out there, the Masters, which is like the Super Bowl of golf, kicked off today. And, of course, the person that everybody's looking at, Tiger, who was kind of a surprise winner last year, he teed off today. He looked good today. He looked like he was having fun. Back seems loose, so there'll definitely going to be something to watch, as Tiger actually tied for his best start at a Masters. He was 4 under today, 3 shots off the lead. And I mean, I don't know for you, but golf is only like even watchable when Tiger is doing well. So, past few years where he's been really inconsistent, I feel like the ratings for golf has probably suffered, because we all know Tiger came out on the scene, just lit it on fire, and ratings were through the roof because people hadn't seen dominance like that in forever. Then he had his issues, injuries, off the course type stuff, and he wasn't the same. But it kind of seems like, at least today, he might make it to the weekend, be in contention. That's exactly what golf wants out of this weekend. And with him out on the course, he's smiling a lot, clearly having fun. So, Tiger is doing well. Happy to see it, because, back in the day when he first came out, like I said, if you didn't even watch golf, you didn't even care for golf, he was a reason to watch. Just for the, crazy shots he'd make, his drives off the tee, his, energy, the crowd's energy, which there is no spectators at the Masters tournament this year, of course. 2020. That's basically every sport. So, just wanted to say that real quick. Once again, if you're a golf fan, I'm sure you watched. If you're not, you probably don't care. But I just wanted to say that Tiger, at least after round 1, is in contention. That's great for the sport, and would, give me a reason to actually follow it. But, that out of the way, go ahead, get to the main point of the episode. Thursday night football. So tonight, kicking off week 10 of the season. Can't believe it's already week 10, but it is. We have the 5-3 Colts headed to Nashville to face the 6-2 Tennessee Titans. So, of course, you just heard their records, so it's a big matchup because it's a battle for first place in the AFC South. And, Titans aren't leading the division right now. The game on the Colts. So if the Titans can win, they can push that lead out to 2 games. Although with winning the matchup, tiebreaker wise, it'd be like a 2.5 game lead basically. And the Colts, they win it. They tie atop the division, would have the tiebreaker. So definitely a big game for both teams. The Colts coming off a tough loss to the Ravens. Now, if you watch that game, the Colts actually outgained the Ravens 339 to 286. For the most part, they basically held Lamar Jackson and that Ravens offense in check. And, the Colts do come to this one as a top defense in the league, and they showed it, like I said, against the Ravens. But the Ravens were able to pull it out because of 2 defensive, special teams touchdowns, which ultimately was a difference as the Ravens won by 2 touchdowns, 24-10. So the Colts definitely coming into this one looking to bounce back from that. They played, I guess, as well as they could against the Ravens, but looking at the final score, one thing that jumps out is 10 points. Now, they had Jacoby Brissett as the quarterback last year. They ran out, got Phillip Rivers this year. Phillip Rivers was supposed to make that offense look better because they felt like Brissett and his limitations as a quarterback, kind of held back the offense and stunted the growth of the team, and they weren't able to go as far as they probably wanted. But looking at Phillip Rivers, he really hasn't been that good. He has 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and at times the Colts offense has been anemic. Hence, like I said, 10 points against the Ravens, and the Ravens are a good defense. I get it, but you don't bring in Phillip Rivers to struggle against good defenses. Phillip Rivers is supposed to keep you somewhat competitive. So, looking at the Titans as well, they are coming in off a win, but they definitely could have performed better. Now, the Colts lost because of 2 defensive special team touchdowns. The Titans actually won their game because of 2 defensive special team touchdowns. And, they pulled one out over the Bears, 24-17. It was a sloppy game for the Titans. The Bears outgained the Titans 375 to 228. That's right, 228. They, like I said, because of the 2 defensive special team touchdowns, they were able to pull that game out. And, Derrick Henry wasn't much of a factor last week. So they definitely want to get him going this tonight against the Colts. Because we all know when you watch the Titans play, if Derrick Henry performs well, then there's a very good chance that the Titans will win the game. You keep Derrick Henry in check, the Titans struggle, because then all the attention goes on Tannehill, and Tannehill's only effective when, he can play action, fake you, and catch the defense out of position, make plays that way. So, I guess looking at on the field, so key injuries coming into the game. Jack Doyle, who is, I think, number 1 tight end on the Colts depth chart, he's out. Number 2 tight end, Mo Alley Cox, is actually questionable for the game, but it looks like he's going to play. So that is good news for Phillip Rivers. Yes, he's down 1 weapon in Jack Doyle, but he still has Mo Alley Cox. For Tennessee, they're missing top corner, Adoree Jackson. some will say Malcolm Butler's their top corner, but all intents and purposes, Adoree Jackson is their number one corner. And Adam Humphries, who's their slot wide receiver, pretty good weapon on offense. But for the most part, you could say both teams come in rather healthy, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Now, of course, being on a short week, that will, with most Thursday night games, some games turn into kind of start sloppy, get better, or some teams just come out flying on Thursday night and can kind of take advantage of a team that maybe isn't ready to play. So we'll have to see if that's at play here, but I kind of doubt it. With a divisional game, division rivalry type game, usually that doesn't happen because both teams understand the importance of the game, so should be fine here. But just looking real quick, the key stats for both teams. The Colts come in as the number one defense with only allowing 290 yards a game, which is fantastic for this era of NFL where it's all offenses spreading teams out, run and gun, quarterbacks throwing the ball all over the field. To only give up 290 yards a game is phenomenal. So the Colts definitely lean on that because, like I said, the offense has been very inconsistent this year. You could probably put 75% of that on Phillip Rivers' arm, but we'll get to that a little bit later. They also have the number 3 rush defense as they only give up 83.9 yards a game. That's definitely a big deal because, like I said, Tennessee wants to run the ball early, run often, and just kind of have Derrick Henry beat up on opposing defenses. So then once get to the fourth quarter where players are a little banged up and tired already, then Derrick Henry becomes even more effective because he kind of gets stronger as the game goes. Also with that, it creates passing opportunities for Tannehill, especially going downfield to like A.J. Brown. So it's going to be interesting to see the rush defense of the Colts going against the rush offense of Derrick Henry and the Titans. Like I said, for the Titans, they're actually number 6 in rushing yards a game at 147.6. That's very good. So I guess that's the key. Colts defense, Titans offense, rush defense, rush offense. Whoever wins that battle will definitely have a leg up in this matchup to win. And an interesting thing about Tennessee is they will give up a lot of yards a game, but in turnover differential, the Titans are number 1. So what does that tell you? That tells you that if you're a quarterback like Phillip Rivers, who tends to make the wrong decision here or there when throwing passes, or can overthrow a receiver or two, Tennessee is the type of team that will take advantage of that. They are very, advantageous in the secondary. They have a couple of guys that are ball hawks back there. So because of that, when Indy has the ball and they're forced into obvious passing situations, Phillip Rivers has to make sure that he, protects the ball, makes the right decision, and doesn't try to force passes like he's come to be known for. So key for the Colts, like I just said, it's Phillip Rivers. He must make plays when they're there. Must take care of the ball. So even that doesn't only mean interceptions. When he drops back, he can't sit back there, hold the ball too much, because Titans will come in off the edge, go for strip sacks. Phillip Rivers has a tendency to be a little loose with the ball in the pocket as well, which these are all things you shouldn't be saying about a vet like Phillip Rivers, but it's something that's been with him his whole career, so that's what he is. But yeah, so There should be plays in the passing game because, like I said, the Titans give up close to 300 yards a game through the air, 285. And with the turnover differential, all that means is Phillip Rivers going to have to drop back, make sure he goes through his progressions. If he doesn't have anything deep, do not be afraid to throw the check down and let your, running back or Mo Ali Cox in this situation, your tight end, who might be over the middle open, throw it to them, see if they can make a play or two. So Phillip Rivers just has to be smart. And that will be, it'll give the Colts a chance to stay in the game and possibly win it. For Tennessee, I think it's just be stick with Derrick Henry. Against the Bears, he wasn't effective early and they kind of went away from the running game. Derrick Henry only had like 65 yards on the ground. That's not going to be enough. So yeah, I get it. The Colts defense is, the rush defense is top in the league, but that does not mean you can't run Derrick Henry. All you have to do is, go to the line with 2 plays, which most offenses do. And then it's up to Tannehill to have the ability to read what the defense is doing and then call out the right play. Because, of course, if the Colts bring, 8, 9 guys in the box to stop Henry, then you audible to a passing play. Tannehill's going to have to make a play in that situation. If the Colts are showing blitz, but it looks like it might be a fake, then you stick with the run. You give it to Henry and let him try to, bowl his way through the defensive line and get into the second level. Because as we've seen with guys like Josh Norman and, like that, secondary guys don't want to have to tackle Derrick Henry because they know he'll extend that arm, stiff arm, and you might get embarrassed, end up on SportsCenter for the wrong reason. So yeah, Tannehill will be just as important as Derrick Henry. But if I'm the Colts, I do not blame them for putting probably 8 guys in the box, focus solely on Derrick Henry. Because even if Derrick Henry doesn't run the ball, he's needed for the play action game. So that's definitely going to be the thing to watch. So when you're watching the game, if you see Derrick Henry going off early, that spells doom for the Colts. And then other way, if you see Phillip Rivers dropping back, no pressure on him, he's able to, set his feet, throw the ball, and he's making good, accurate passes, that could spell doom for the Titans. So like I said, the game is in Nashville. I believe it's supposed to be like mid-50s, mid to high 50s, which this time of the year is pretty normal. The weather shouldn't be that much of an issue. So according to ESPN, where I usually get my spread information from, the Titans do come into the game as a 2.5 point favorite at home. So it's my first pick for the week. And I've been thinking about this one because I can go either way with this. In my mind, I can see 2 different outcomes where either the Colts or the Titans win. But I'm going to go with my gut on this one. I do think the Titans pull this one out. So once again, if you're new, the spread is just telling you kind of the line where, if you pick the Titans have to win this game by at least a field goal since there are no half points in football. So if it's 2.5, you're basically looking at a field goal game. And if the Colts win, of course, the Colts cover as the underdog. But if the Colts lose by less than a field goal, then the Colts win the cover. It's a little crazy, but that's just how it works. So I'm going with the Titans in this one. I do think the Colts will be able to kind of handle Derrick Henry for the most part. And the Colts passing defense is nothing to, laugh at either. But I could see Phillip Rivers making him being the reason for a late turnover that gives the Titans the ability to win. So I'm looking at, these Thursday night games are so weird because sometimes there's a struggle for points, and then other times there'll be complete shootouts. You know what? For this one, I'm going 26. 26-19. No, that seems too. No. All right, give me 27-23. Tennessee. Yeah, we'll do that. 27-23. Titans over the Colts. Titans will cover. So like I said, that is first look at the Thursday Night Football matchup and my first pick for Week 10. So again, if you're new, I make 6 picks a week, and they normally are the Thursday night game, Sunday night game, Monday night game, Falcons game, Patriots game, and one wild card game. And there you are. So with that kind of gets you set for the Thursday night matchup. It should be an interesting game. I am interested in watching it, of course, not only because of the podcast, but I have not actually seen the Colts play that much this year, and I do want to see how they are looking right now. You all know, not a big Phillip Rivers fan. I saw him enough when he was with the Chargers, and I know what he's all about. I've seen a lot of their game highlights this year, but to watch them play live, I haven't done that, I think, more than twice. So I do want to see how they look. I've seen the Titans play a few times, so I know about them. So it should be a good game. As I said, 27-23, so it should be close, which most divisional games are. So yeah, tune in like me. You should enjoy it because I know I will. But also looking forward, as I said early in the episode, I will do episode 1 of draft coverage tomorrow. And now the more I think about it, yes, I'm going to do breakdown LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman. They are seen top 2 prospects for this draft. So it seems to make the most sense to start there. But with the draft next week, I want to get through at least the top 6 to 8 prospects to really see who deserves to be the number 1 pick, who will probably be the number 1 pick. And I don't know, if by the draft I might do a little bit might do some predictions as well. Maybe try to pick the lottery or something. I don't know, but we'll worry about that next week. I will take a look at college football this weekend. Although with the way it's going, I don't really know how many games are going to be played, so that may change if I do a college football episode this weekend. Because right now, I think a lot of the SEC games have been canceled. I believe some Big Ten games have been canceled. So if there aren't enough big matchups out there, then I'll just wait on college football, and then I guess it'll allow me to do a little bit more NBA draft talk. Then of course, we'll get you ready for Sunday's games as well as the Monday night game. That will be my early Sunday episode, which is something I've been doing past few weeks. So that'll be Sunday. And also we'll touch on other NBA news as well, because I don't know if you've been paying attention, but some coaches have filled some spots, And I am going to touch on news with the Rockets, where it looks like Russell Westbrook wants out. Question is whether James Harden should be gone. So I will definitely get into that at some point this weekend. Maybe even tomorrow with the whole draft episode. We'll see. But yeah, I do have a strong opinion on that, because we'll just say between Westbrook and Harden, I am definitely more of a fan of one of them than the other. So you have to tune in to find out which one. And with that, I do think one of them is a little bit overrated. So yeah, that's just going to be a good one. But yeah, that kind of gets you taken care of for the weekend, as well as into early next week. Well, of course, if anything does happen between then, I may shuffle some stuff around. We'll kind of keep, I guess, a little bit of a watch on the Masters, see if Tigers can go back to back. I mean, Tiger. I said Tigers. Let's see if Tiger can go back to back and win his second straight green jacket. So yeah, definitely a lot going on in sports. And as I said, I will be here to give you my opinions on all of it. I am trying to do, an episode every day. So it's another little side note. I have decided to, so before, when I first started, I kind of would record one the night and then post it the morning after. But now I'm going to start doing kind of episodes, like 7 o'clock or whatever, and just post those out. That way I can do them every day, hopefully. So definitely look to that. Daily episode uploads, so should be fun. But for those of you who are new, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can go ahead and give a listen to the previous episodes, and like the Facebook page, Chompin at the Bit. You can follow the show on Twitter at Chompin Podcast. There's also, of course, the episodes are on all of the major podcast platforms. So wherever you do listen to your podcast, you can definitely find me on there. Whether it's Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, just wherever you listen to them, just search Chompin at the Bit and you'll find it. You can also go to my YouTube page, Kyle Edwards, and all of my episodes are on there as well. So, like I said, wherever you do want to find the show, it's out there. And for those of you who've been with me, definitely appreciate you as well. Also, on those podcast platforms, give this show subscribe. Hit the subscribe button as well. Would definitely help out. So thanks again. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll definitely catch you in the next episode. All right.